Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Amobi Okugo, host of Money Talks, a new podcast from a frugal athlete in partnership with Billion or Bust Media. Money Talks explores the world of business behind professional athletes. I speak with financial advisors, business managers, marketing and PR professionals who specialize in running the business of being a pro athlete. Tune into Money Talks on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find new episodes on billionourbustmedia.com and afrugalathlete.com. Again, billionourbustmedia.com or afrugalathlete.com.
All right, folks, it is the 2 Cents Show, baby. 2 Cents Podcast, Buckeye Review Edition. I'm your host, Jay Richardson, as always, and very, very excited about something. The game is here. The Buckeye Review for the game. You know what it is, the Ohio State-Michigan game. Everything we need to know about this game, starting with, how the game began. Let me tell you something. First of all, big game, very, very hyped game. A top 15 opponent in Michigan, number 1 overall team in the country in Ohio State. Playoff implications, not Big Ten championship implications, because even if Ohio State would have lost, they would still be in the Big Ten championship game, but they didn't lose. They won. Ohio State actually went out there and dominated 56-27, but that's not what's important. What's important is how they did it. Starting out, Michigan Wolverines came out strong. Opening drive, came right down and scored. Nice little reverse there inside the red zone. I was actually impressed with that call. I was impressed with the way Michigan and Shea Patterson, have to give him credit. He carved up the Buckeyes defense, who was down a man in Shaun Wade, pretty decently. We knew it would be a good matchup. We knew the Michigan receivers, they got about 2 first-round guys in there. You know, you got Peoples-Jones, you got Ronnie. Ronnie goes about 6'4", 220, so I definitely knew he was going to be somebody that was going to create some matchup issues with the secondary that was young, a little inexperienced, with a couple young guys. Okuda handled his business, and then on the other side, we had a couple guys filling in roles, and I think they did a fantastic job. Ended up with a young guy getting a pick at the end there, but here's what's important. Jim Harbaugh had a game plan. I want to keep Justin Fields inside the pocket. Don't let him scramble if we can help it. Roll up our corners and take away the quick stuff and make the Buckeyes earn it on the ground. Oh, that's okay. J.K. Dobbins just went for 211. Chris Fields from inside the pocket threw for 305-6 yards, 4 touchdowns apiece for both of those young gentlemen. Both are now firmly in the Heisman race because of this game. And when you watch J.K. Dobbins, you're talking about 6.8 yards a carry. He made this thing go. He literally controlled the flow of this game by handing the ball off to him and letting our offensive line, who absolutely grinded the Michigan defensive line, just grinded them all game long. By the time J.K. Dobbins would get the handoff, the Michigan defensive line was already back about 2 to 3 yards. So J.K. could fall forward and pick up 5. But nah, he's going to get his 7 yards a carry because that's how he rolls. He was masterful, made so many beautiful inside cuts, understood where the defense was weak and attacked them at those points. When he needed to dive forward, he dove forward. When he needed to jump back and make a little cut and get a couple more, he was always making the right move, kept the chains moving. Just masterful performance by J.K. Dobbins. I wanted to give him the Heisman in the middle of the third quarter. When you watch Justin Fields in this game, right, he only completed, I believe, 14 balls or so, and that was out of 25 passes. So it wasn't like he had an amazing, game in the air, but he did, just without having to do it too often, right? 25 passes. I like that number for him. I don't want us to have to throw the ball around 30, 40 times like we did last year. We don't need to do that. We have J.K. Dobbins. Hand him the ball off 30 times. Justin Fields, you pass it about 20, 25 times, and it worked out perfectly. The cool thing was the big play guy, who's now emerging as the co-big play guy because Olave is still the big play guy. He's averaging 34 yards a catch in this game. But Garrett Wilson, man, this dude had 3 catches for 118 yards, some scores. When you talk about just creating big plays in the moment, and being able to just get open and adjust his body. I've never seen anything like it. The kid is next level. He's strong. He's athletic. He's somebody that he's gonna go up and he's gonna make the play and he's gonna get it done. And he's fast. I mean, he's next level fast. And I think that's something that we don't often look at and appreciate in a young player is his poise and the combination of skills that he brings to the table. He's going to be Ohio State's next big-time kid. I just got a feeling about him, and it's not just a feeling. I mean, you can watch the tape. You know, he's a five-star guy and all that stuff, but he plays like it as a true freshman. Very, very impressive. Now, defensively, I got to say, a big takeaway from this game was Michigan put the blueprint out there to slow Chase Young down. I think he only had a couple tackles on the day, no sacks. And when you watch that game, Chase Young was getting multiple looks, right? Sometimes it would be a double team. Sometimes he'd be single blocked. Sometimes it'd be slide protection his way. Michigan mixed it up so much that he was guessing the whole game on what kind of coverage he'd be getting, and he just wasn't sure. And I think that is one of those things that is a smart thing for Michigan to do. You have to give him credit. But at the end of the day, when you really watch this thing, it was J.K. Dobbins, it was the defense playing as a team that really got it done. I did not think that Chase would get, bottled up the way he did. However, I was very, very impressed with his response to it. He just kept doing his job. Michigan continued to struggle with, just being able to attack the Buckeyes on the ground. The entire defensive line pretty much destroyed the run. So they had to go to the air, and to their credit, Shea Patterson put up some pretty solid numbers through the air, got some passes in there in tight windows. I have to give him credit. The equalizer for Ohio State played very well on special teams, also played really well in critical situations. You saw Justin Fields get banged up there in the fourth quarter. I was very nervous. We were all nervous. Took a shot on the knee, looked like an MCL. And all of a sudden, everyone's freaking out. Not to worry. Chubb goes in there, gets a critical first down. A few plays later, Justin Fields comes back in the game and throws a dart in the back of the end zone to Garrett Wilson, the freshman, for a touchdown. That was huge, another one. And that's when I knew this guy's a warrior. This guy's got toughness. He's got that grit that you need at that quarterback position. And I also knew we have got to make sure we don't put him in harm's way and put him in situations where he can be hit, because I don't feel as strong about our backup quarterbacks as I did years ago when we had all of those great quarterbacks in our QB room. When we had Haskins and we had JT Barrett and we had Joe Burrow all in the same in the same QB room. We don't have that anymore. So we have to protect Justin Fields. The O-line did a fantastic job. Fields made smart decisions all day long. Ohio State controlled the game and beat the rival Michigan. Jim Harbaugh is, everyone's gonna say he's in serious trouble. I don't know that he's equipped to beat Ohio State. So it's not it's not like you just blame Jim Harbaugh. Like, oh man, listen, I think Harbaugh is an absolute douche. Don't get me wrong. The Khaki King is way overpaid. I get all that. Problem is, Ohio State just has better players. 8 top 100 players on Ohio State's team, 0 on Michigan's team, and you saw that talent gap just begin to widen. And as the game went on, talent took over. We're just better. Harbaugh needs a lot of work recruiting, and I don't know that he's the guy to do it. Michigan needs to be revamped. They need a fresh face to even make it a challenge. That is 8 games in a row Ohio State's beat Michigan, and it's starting to get to the point where it's not even a rivalry. It's starting to get kind of, even as an Ohio State fan, I kind of felt bad for Harbaugh and Michigan. Is that weird? I was like, man, poor guys, man. It's not a rivalry anymore, and we need it to be a rivalry so that when we smack them, it means something. It still means something, but not as much as it would have if they were good. So that was rough to watch. In the meantime, Ohio State getting ready for Wisconsin. That'll be a rematch. Wisconsin handled their business against P.J. Fleck in Minnesota. So I'm looking forward to this rematch. I think Wisconsin's going to look at that blueprint, and they're going to mix up a lot of the protections on Chase Young. He needs to be ready for that. The defensive coordinator in Al Washington, they need to position Madison and Washington need to position Chase on the edge of every defense and have him screaming off the edge and always attack the weak side. That is what I would do. And I think that's what they should do. And I think Ohio State will control this Big Ten championship game. That'll be 8 o'clock on Saturday, this Saturday at 8. o'clock. You can watch the pregame show on WSYX Channel 6, here in Columbus, Ohio, and check us out on the Football Fever. Check me out. I'm going to tell you a lot more about this game and what to expect. In the meantime, guys, this has been your Buckeye Review edition of The Game. Congrats, Bucks. Let's get ready to go win a national championship, still have the number 1 seed in the entire country. And I think after being Big Ten champs, even if LSU beats Georgia, I still think LSU does not deserve to be number 1. I think Ohio State, sure, the schedule's top 25 wins, should be number 1. But we will find out what the committee thinks. That's your Buckeye Review. It's the 2 Cent Show. I'm Jay Richardson. Until next time, folks.